my life talking how gun control and doing things. I think I can find a court here, something in the middle that can be done, that can actually be proactive and actually need some compromise. I don't want to go to the next thing. I'm here for this. And when this is done, I'm probably moving out of the U.S. going somewhere in a small island somewhere. And I'm being controversial all the time. So for me, this is it. So I don't know. You're going to have to ask the next people who come after me what's after that. But for me, it's not after that. Somebody else now ask a question that asked? Way back. How much time do we have? You guys can stay as long as you want. I'll be here all day.
Well, thank you, sir, for being here and to talk about this important issue. I'm going to go another and a Second Amendment supporter, but I'm not going to spend this time debating because we can be more constructive here. And also, I think what you're trying to do is well-intentioned, and pretty much everyone that looks into it is going to figure that background checks are a good thing. But what I wanted to bring up with you is during the presentation, while you're talking with some of the students around here, you've shown an incredible ability of understanding the socioeconomic and political understanding within the federal and state system. And you're talking about just there that as soon as you're done with this, that you're done. But I'm suggesting is you should not, because you have these skills, you have these talents, and you should pursue that to doing other social justice issues as well. And so I'm just suggesting that since you understand that you bring it to the next level. Because obviously when you just show your analysis, you know to one way to another that the system that we have is dysfunctional and not properly working. And so I'm just suggesting that, one, that you go ahead and pursue a career into wherever you go. And I'd like to ask again, is just, if that's the case, I mean, do you have any other ambitions after this?
That's a great question. It actually leads me to a point I wanted to make. I know the talk so far has been about laws and policies and regulations and things like that, and heady, in my opinion, that's a top-down approach to gun violence, to reducing the number of people killed. Affecting law that reaches down to the people. That is one way. That deals with the accessibility, the easy accessibility to firearms, which is a problem and it is a contributing factor to the number of people killed every year. But it's not the only thing we should be doing. In my opinion, and as I learn more about it, I'm more interested in is the bottom-up approaches to gun violence, which is dealing with people's propensity to use a gun to solve their problems in this country. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people think when they live in tough areas, people with violent crime, a lot of crime that happens on a continual daily basis, that this is how they resolve their problems. This is how they deal with their beef with other people, by pulling a gun out. And you have to fundamentally show people a different way. Show people that you can resolve conflict without resorting to violence. And and this is not done better than a group out of Chicago called Ceasefire Chicago. This is a group that was started by a man who dealt with sexually transmitted diseases in Africa and realized that you can throw out all your condoms you want, you can throw out all the pills you want, but unless you get people to stop having sex without them or stop doing things like that, you're not going to stop the problem. Granted, it didn't mean he stopped giving out condoms, but he said he went to the fundamental behavior of people. So, in Chicago, in the South Side, some of the roughest neighborhoods there, they literally get people who have been gangbangers, people in that line of work who have killed people, who have been shot, and for whatever reason, haven't been killed, haven't been incarcerated for the rest of their lives, and one day realize, pulling a gun out to solve my problems is not going to get me where I want to be. This is a short-term solution and not a long-term lifestyle. And so they get these people with a lot of credibility in the neighborhoods to literally interrupt the cycle of violence. In urban areas, gang-related violence is very cyclical in nature. You hear about a shooting, their boys, their family members, their friends retaliate. When people are brooding there in the hospital beds, they're thinking about how to get back to the guy who just got them. And it goes round and round and round. So they get these people, these former tough guys with a lot of credibility, to literally go visit those guys when they're in the emergency room, when they're lying there recovering, and say, look, I was there. I've been in your shoes. And I tried to shoot the guy who shot me, and I am getting shot again. I know a guy in D.C. who's been shot 10 times on 3 different occasions, all from the same dude, all from the same beef with a woman started like 15 years ago. And whenever they saw each other around town, they started shooting at each other. Finally, the last time, Greg didn't see the other guy saw him from behind him, and shot him 5 times. He back to the hospital, and while he was there, he said that the doctor had to literally massage his heart back to life, and Greg's a very spiritual man now. He says he literally massaged the evil out of my heart. And you know, that works for Greg, but he is literally turning around, and now he tries to interrupt that cycle of violence. He will literally stand in front of people, put his arms out, and try to mediate that conflict without it going to a violent end. This film, this group in Chicago, has been made into a film. Sorry. It's called The Interrupters. Steve James is the producer of this film, the guy who did Hoop Dreams. I suggest all of you guys watch this. And this, like I said, this deals with the people's behavior, the fundamental idea that the gun is the way I'm going to solve my problem. So that, I believe, is where I'd like to spend a lot of my time afterwards. There's actually a group in LA called Homeboy Industries. Their motto is nothing stops a bullet like a job. I mean, it's true. They get former gang members, people who want to get out of that circle of life, and they give them jobs like making food, making shirts, doing small things on the right track to get somewhere where they can do something else with their time instead of resorting to gang-related activity all the time, illegal, illicit activity. Ceasefire Chicago, their motto, not we need to do better gun laws, their motto is stop killing people. Simple as that. So I think legitimate reductions in the 30,000 Americans killed, 70,000 Americans hit and not killed and survived like me every year, the 100,000 Americans that get affected by this will reduce when you have these top-down approaches with laws and policies dealing with accessibility. Meet with the bottom-up approaches of giving people other options in life, showing people a different way to deal with their issues. When those meet in the middle, that's when we'll have a serious impact on this problem. And hopefully we can stop having people like me having to come and talk about this. So there's a lot of things you guys can do and get involved. I know you guys, some of you guys signed your name, and you guys came in here with email address, and if you haven't, please do as you leave. We'll be able to follow up with you when there's events going on in this area, what we're doing in Federal Hill. If you're interested, if you're not, you can unsubscribe and be done with it. There's also, there'll be handouts as you get Students Prevent Free Schools. If you want to take one as you leave. Check out this film on Facebook, Living for 32. Like it on Facebook. Share it with your friends. There's not a lack of things to do about this issue, but my bosses always tell me to tell you guys to call your congressmen and call your senators and tell them to support HR, whatever. I mean, that's a part of it. Everyone should be involved in the political civic process. I'm saying that's important, but that's not it. I mean, you can write articles in your local paper. You can tell someone as you leave here, tell your parents what you just heard. Help and spread it on Facebook. When you hear about messages, send it around your circles. I mean, just do something. Don't do nothing. Just one little thing. And, you know, through the emails, and if you guys want to join on the Facebook pages, you'll hear about other things to do and you guys can get engaged. Here locally and even on the federal level if you want to. But you guys came here today for this. I know some of you guys got extra credit for coming. And if you need verify for that, then I think we can sign your papers and say you were here. But